Welcome to the Real Life Moms podcast, where we put ourselves at the top of our to-do list. I'm Lisa Foster, your host, and today I'm here with fellow mom, certified hypnotherapist, and mental fitness coach, Pennie Wilson, and we are discussing the importance of emotional regulation and tools to help us regulate. Hi, Pennie. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks so much for having me. I am excited to find out ways that we could support moms in that calmness.
Yes, and we can all use a little calmness. As I walked downstairs to record this, I realized that I had blown a fuse and I have no idea how to put it back on. So some of my lights aren't on. So yeah, I got a little emotionally dysregulated. And so I was like, but this is perfect timing. We're talking about this today.
Love it.
So maybe you could just, in simple terms, describe what emotional regulation really is.
Emotional regulation is being able to stay calm enough to access the intelligence inside of you. So being triggered is when the front part of your brain, problem solving, shuts off. The back part of your brain, I call it monkey brain, goes haywire like a sergeant trying to keep everybody safe and giving orders, right? So calmness is in the front of the brain where you can use your imagination and just staying in that place where you can think clearly.
Yeah, and that seems really important. I'm just thinking of like probably every situation in life, whether it's parenting or work, where you get triggered and you're not thinking anymore. You're just reacting. And it's never good. It's never good to be there. Yeah. So I can definitely see the importance of this self-regulation. How can someone even tell that they're feeling dysregulated? People might not even know those.
I really think, and the more that I've thought about what I do and how to support people, the more I've realized that there's different stages. So in the beginning stages, bringing awareness to what's happening, you might notice that you snap. 20 years ago, I call myself the momzilla mom, right? I was yelling at my kids, trying to force or control or get everything done on time, all the emotions that are constantly coming up. So it's really an expansion of awareness as you begin to notice what's happening. So in those beginning stages, it might be emotions. And as you get up into some more higher levels, it might be that you're just pushing yourself too much during the day and not taking the rest and break that you need in order to feel and be connected with your body. Staying present is what we're going for, but the opposite is all of those thoughts that pull us down toward heaviness or emotional reactivity.
Yes, yeah. Now, to help us regulate, you talk about something called the 5 pillars of calm, which sounds so lovely. I want 5 pillars of calm. So can you explain, like, what are these pillars? And talk us through them a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. So again, it's going back to those stages when you just imagine that you're driving down the road and you're constantly noticing things happen. But in some sudden moment, maybe a guy cuts you off or a girl, let's not be gender specific, but let's just say something happens that triggers you. And then all of a sudden you notice those heavy emotions or the heightened emotions and what's going on. So the 5 pillars is really a strategy to help you gain mastery, one tiny little baby step at a time. If you notice that you're constantly getting triggered and you're seeing your emotions, reactions, then the first step would be simply to choose to pause and be calm before you speak. So I did a video on social a little while ago, and I'm like, just ask yourself before speaking, because that can damage relationships, right? Especially with our kids when we get into those moments. And then just before you speaking, ask yourself, am I calm? So that's the beginning baby step, is just choosing to be calm. And once you figure out how to pause in that, instead of reacting, I'm going to be intentional with this. And I really do that through the further steps of emotional regulation. So the second step is learning the tools. How do you actually figure out to do that pattern interrupt, as they say, but how do you stop yourself from going down that same old road all the time? So noticing what those tools are. That third one is visualization. So noticing, like I had this conversation in that triggered me or my son or whatever's happening, and the emotions that came out of that, let's call that the wrong way, just quote unquote, of what I didn't want to experience, versus that the visualization tool can help you imagine the right way. What do you want to have happen? How do you want to show up in that situation? And then going on to the fourth and fifth layers is gaining mastery, consistency, and practice. It's just like working out, except this is with your brain and your reactions, right? So you're going to get into higher levels of integration as when you do, you reach those 4 and 5 stages, is your reactions become much more naturally calm on just a very instinctive basis. Like, I don't get triggered nearly as much as I used to. I don't say it ever happens, but I've gotten so much better. And then that fifth pillar is really connecting with a higher power, because I believe that I am part of something much bigger than myself. And I don't know about you, but I can't find like the way to stay calm and steady if I don't have that groundedness. However it is that you and the parents here believe, I believe in a higher power, and I use that in my visualizations. I imagine waterfall and light coming through me and connecting me to my higher power, seeing that go down into the center of the earth, so that I can really just find that calmness and peace. So it's baby steps. It's gradually knowing that there is a goal, a desired outcome that you're going toward, and what is the one place where you are right now today, and have compassion for, I'm struggling with this. Okay, that's all right. Everyone struggles. What is the one next thing that will help you to be more empowered?
Yeah. So everybody wants to walk around being like calm and
Yeah.
zen, and that's not, it's nice, but it's not true.
It's not real.
So what I'm hearing is it's like this is just a practice, and you, like you said, I want to hear a little bit more about these tools, but really tools that you are helping your body retrain your mind, your body, and your reactions. So you're not going to be walking around calm. There will be triggers, but then when you are triggered, it's not this explosive reaction. You've retrained your body and brain to be like able to react in a more thinking frontal
Yes.
mind.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And having lots of compassion. I call it the messy middle. You're going to mess up. It's okay. We all do. And just recognize that every step you take uphill will give you more strength to take the next step uphill. So it is a cyclical upward spiral of growth.
Yeah. So you did talk a little bit, like you mentioned the word tools. I like tools,
Mm,
seems handy. What kind of tools do you maybe recommend for people for your coaching to work on? Are there
yeah.
things that people can start with?
My ultimate desire is to teach people tools that they can actually use to program their own mind. As a non traditional certified hypnotherapist, I don't want to be the one creating any kind of control. And because I lived in a narcissistic marriage for 17 years, I felt controlled most of the time. So I want to really create that empowerment. So I teach people literally how to create those programs. The three things that create a program in the mind is images, words, and emotions. And it sounds too simple to be true, because psychology makes everything so complicated, right? But if you are just sitting with yourself and you recognize, in this moment that I've been triggered, there's words or images or beliefs that I have about that situation that I can recognize. So that's the first thing, is to recognize that you can program your own mind. You do have that power. Everyone has the same brain, even though my son was trying to tell me, no, mom, I'm different. Images, words, and emotions. And you're looking for ways that you can let go of what you don't want and experience more of what you do want.
Okay. So in, I would say step three, what you were
Mm-hmm.
talking about, pillar three, is that visualization.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
you're really saying there. So, and then in maybe, is it in the moment of an actual activity? Like something comes and it triggers me and I'm like the wrong way or whatever. Am I doing it there, or is it, or can I be practicing not necessarily in the moment? Because I
Yeah.
feel
I
like that's a
really,
better place
yeah.
for
It's
all
a
of us to
valid question.
practice. Yeah.
Very important. Like think about working out every day. I don't know if you like to work out, but I recently at 50 was diagnosed with osteoporosis in certain parts of my body. So I created a workout for weight bearing osteoporosis in order to strengthen my bones, right? So I'm going to the gym, I'm doing the thing, and that is what gives me strength throughout the day. So, emotional fitness, you practice ahead of time. It's a simple practice that you do before the moment of the storm hits. So, those times when you get emotionally regulated, when you practice, that's the time that you find the emotions, the thoughts, the images in your body that are going to empower you in that moment. Instead of reacting, you'll be able to
Right.
hold on. Nope, that's not what I want to feel, believe, experience. This is what I want. So it's creating that strength inside of yourself before you need it.
That makes so much sense. I love how you call it mental fitness
Yeah.
or emotional fitness. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's like practicing. So how do you practice? What do you do for your what's your mental fitness hygiene?
So in the morning, I wake up at 5 and we have recordings that we do every week with our community. And I listen to two of those. One is just a random one. Usually I'm led intuitively. This one sounds good. But I always have that intention, what I want to create or what I want to let go, usually from the previous day. There's something that happened I'm uncomfortable with. There's something I'm working on, what's going on and why is that making me uncomfortable. So I create that intention. The second meditation I do, which is 30 minutes, so there's a full 60 minutes that I do, but work up. This is not what I would expect someone to do in the beginning, right? So the second thing I do is, and I know some people don't believe in chakras or energies or they don't understand it, but that's something I came to understand, that there's certain beliefs in each part of my body. For example, the root chakra is where you sit, and that's where you feel safe. So, in the hierarchy of needs, like Maslow's triangle, that's the foundation of the triangle. So, if you look at that triangle, it'll give you a clue of where am I right now and what do I need in order to move up in my emotional safety. So I go through my chakras every morning so that I can remember what I want to believe about myself and feel that safety in my body. And then I can't explain why it works. It just works. I'm able to, again, focus on who I am and what I want to create.
Yeah. So someone who's developing their own routine, their own program, yeah, how do they know what to? It seems like you've studied this is something that comes natural to you, but for someone who's, yeah, that sounds good. I want to talk to my chakras in
Right?
the
Yeah.
morning and make sure everyone is aligned and open. Um,
Yeah.
how do they start to learn this? What do they do? Are there simple ways?
I can share with you the chakra meditation that I've
Mhm.
done, and I have that recorded in what I listen to. In the beginning, I did it intuitively on myself before years later when I recorded it. But the chakra meditation isn't necessarily one I would recommend in the beginning.
Oh,
In the beginning, I would just recommend looking at three key focuses. So, one of the visuals that I love that helps me to separate and clarify all the confusing thoughts in my head is the image of sun and clouds. And imagine that you're standing on the beach, and over on the right side, up at the top, is this beautiful sun. You feel its warmth, its rays, it's relaxing. You got your feet in the water. And then over on the left side is clouds, storms stirring up, all of the trigger things that we don't want. So this image can mean so many different things on so many different layers. But the three key focuses is number one, what do I want to create? Because there's a river of FUD, I call it, stands for fear, uncertainty, doubt, dread, and discouragement, that naturally pulls our thoughts downstream toward the clouds. And unless we intentionally choose to point our minds toward what we want, we're automatically going to be looked at. I don't like this. We're complaining. We're experiencing all of the heaviness of emotions without even recognizing it.
mm,
So imagine that you're on the beach and you have the sun and the clouds, and you're being aware of what you're feeling in your body. What am I feeling? And where are my thoughts focused? Are my thoughts focused on what I want or what I don't want? And if there's something troubling you, what is it about that you don't like? I really believe the things that bother us are the opposite of what our soul craves and wants and needs. In my previous marriage, where I experienced a lot of inequality, I felt talked down to. And I recognized that it was a lot of my own way that I showed up in life that created that. But that was the opposite of what I want and what I now have, where I'm in a marriage that I feel equal. I feel like we're both showing up together. We want the same thing. So just recognize what it is that you're experiencing that you don't want, and what do you want to create instead.
I love that picture of,
Mm.
yeah. And that's just like a simple meditation or something that you do in the morning all by yourself,
Yeah.
just thinking about, okay, what do I want?
Mhm.
What do I don't want?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Now, you might feel this question coming at you because what I can see happening is I have this beautiful meditate. I get up very early. I
Mm.
love the morning and yes, those thoughts and I meditate. But then you go through your day and those things that you don't want or bother you or seem to pull you towards that other cloudy day in
Mm.
your
Yeah.
imagery seem to show up and suck you in. So,
Yep.
how do you maintain refocusing or focusing towards that sunny image versus being pulled down?
Again, on different levels, it's going to look different. In the beginning, recognizing that your words have power, choosing to pause, recognize that your breath has power. At any moment, no matter where you are, except if you're driving, don't close your eyes, but you have the power to choose how fast your breath is moving. When you breathe deeply and slowly, it slows down your heart rate. It slows down all of your physiology. So, just that one tiny little tool of I can choose to pause. If you need to excuse yourself in a bedroom or pretend it's a bathroom break, whatever it takes, lock yourself in the bathroom, but finding that I can choose to pause. And then eventually, as you gain strength, you can find out words that will help empower you to believe in who you are. Having gone through what we do in our community, we help people create an I am statement. And it creates that foundational strength. Every time I'm struggling during the day, I close my eyes and I say my I am statement. And it
Mhm.
grounds me back into, okay, this is why I'm here. This is what I'm doing. So those tools, just learning them one at a time, no matter what it is, it's going to increase your strength to focus on what you do want.
Yeah. And I'm just remembering when sometimes, especially when my kids were younger, the feeling that just builds up, and then you're like,
Mm.
when you're pausing, you're like, "Ugh." But I love their thinking of saying, I have a choice. Like the
Mm-hmm.
power of that. I have a choice in this moment to just
Mm-hmm.
stop.
Yeah.
Because so many times, whether it's with your kids, work, whatever, you feel like you have to almost react in the moment to take
Yep.
care of the situation, to fix it,
Mm-hmm.
to do whatever. And I think that's where we get tripped up because then we're really reacting. We have to have the answer right now. We have to do it right now. And what you're saying, and I think I've heard this multiple times from many guests,
Mm-hmm.
is that you don't have to do that. You
Yeah.
can, once again, you have the power to stop, think. No one's going anywhere. If your kid's having a tantrum, they're still having a tantrum. If something's due at work, it's still due at work. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter.
Yes.
You can take that minute and pause. And I really like that because if you can do that and you can take that breath, then you can change that whole everything, the
Yes.
way what you're going to say, how you're going to
Mm-hmm.
feel.
Yep.
And that's huge. And it's so simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we do
It
all these
is.
crazy things to relax. We
Mm-hmm.
take supplements, we do all these things.
Yes.
And all we need to do is stop
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
breathe,
It's an
right? Which is
amazing, yeah, amazing testament to how simple and powerful simple solutions are when we just choose to pause. And another thing I love to say in that moment in the beginning is learning to get my body calm. It's giving my body an instruction. It's not because I necessarily believe it right now, but I am the CEO of my company in my head. So I get to program my body and say, I am calm. I am safe. I choose to be here in the present moment, here in my body, choose to be here. So, yeah, finding power
Yeah.
in that.
I love that. Okay, so if parents only had 10 minutes, doesn't seem like it takes long, but 10 minutes every day to do
Mm-hmm.
something that's going to really change their regulation, what is that?
So, if you're in the beginning of the journey and you're going with a lot of emotional reactions, I would just invite you to breathe, visualize light flowing through your body, connecting to your higher power. And first of all, just feeling safe and remembering that you're loved and showing up for yourself and saying good things to yourself. I know most of us have a critic in our head, but if you can, for just 5 minutes or even 1 minute, pretend that you're your higher self or you're that best friend and say those things to yourself that you need to hear. You're loved. You're valuable. You're doing so much good. So take that moment of giving yourself the words that you need to hear, feeling the way that you want to feel. If you have more emotional and mental energy, start focusing on what you want to create for the day. What's one emotional connection moment I want to create today, or a meaningful experience, or just how I want to stay present in my body? How do I want to show up? So something that you want to create and focus and visualize it. Just really see it in your mind's eye, hear it, smell it, taste it, feel it in your body, and play through the circumstances. What does that look like? How will that feel when I'm there? What will that connection be when I'm talking to someone? What impact will that make for that child or for a coworker, whatever it is that your sphere is of the way that you want to show up? And just let yourself be present. And then that, like, the highest level, I think, is imagining your higher self and truly helping to visualize, who am I becoming? What is that person that I want to become? And find the characteristics and visualize it in your mind. One of the visuals I have is that I love is like seeing myself as a phoenix having burned down my old self. And then I'm rising from the ashes and my wings are coming out. And then I go and I run off and jump off the edge of a cliff where my wings are going out. And then my old self falls to the ground and I'm flying. So there's visuals that you can create in your mind that are going to help empower you in that moment to become. And then that moment of shifting, instead of reacting, you can choose intentionally. Who do I want to be in this moment? And how do I want to respond? That's the key word.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I was thinking my higher self every time I do any meditations or whatever, think of my higher self. I'm always in a white flowy outfit
Love
dancing
it.
and playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love
Cool.
your phoenix. Yeah, it's great. I'm just
So
flying
good.
there. Yes, I love that. It seems just so simple. We don't have to make it, sounds like we don't have to make it difficult. I
Mm-hmm.
do agree so much with
Yeah.
the self-talk. I love people creating their own I am statements that they can just use. I tend to have some written on my sticky notes and I hide them in my desk at work. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I'm feeling a little I just need a little help. I just open and I just read it. And it's amazing because I created them.
Yep.
Like I worked on it to create them for myself, that it's exactly what I need to hear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's almost like you should write a letter, like from your higher self, from
Mm-hmm.
your wise self, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it, from the one that
Mm-hmm.
knows, who's always there for you self,
Yeah.
and write a letter to yourself of all the things you need to hear. And then when you
Mm-hmm.
need it, you just pull it out
Yes.
and you read it,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Yep. Those answers that we get inside of us are the most important thing that we need to hear for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Where can the listeners find you and what do you offer?
We offer a 3-stage Kokoro program. It's the repatterning method. So if you want to start like with a baby step, we have a 2-hour mini course, and I would love to connect with anyone that wants to learn about our program and experience more. We have a programs page. If you go to Kokoro Creators, that's KOKORO, creators.com. You can see who we are there, and then there's a tab called programs, and you can see the different 4 stages that we guide people through that helps them to first choose calm. What do you want? What do you don't want? And then how to move through those stages and gain those tools and truly create. I love to help people find whatever passion and purpose they have and connect to their mission and find out what they want to create and then help them do that.
That's so nice. I do have to ask, what does Kokoro mean? Like, where does that name come from?
Yeah, it's actually the one word in Japanese that means heart, body, mind, and soul.
Wow, I
Yeah,
love that. Okay.
yeah,
I was like, that's such a, yeah, specific name.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
Thank you so much for sharing these pillars and helping us keep calm simply,
yeah.
pausing,
Yes,
and just starting to put this in our daily routine.
absolutely. Yeah. Yep. It's a journey. Thank you for having me. It's been a joy.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you want to learn more about Pennie and all that she has to offer, just click on the link in the show notes. And until next week, keep carving out time for yourself and keep putting yourself on top of your to do list.